Hello, everybody. Welcome to our presentation. We're Haskell School of Business. We are here to help you guys give you more of an understanding of how the transition from high school to university goes. So I'll begin with my introduction. My name is Ryan Park. I'm a third year finance major. I attended Robert Third High School from grade 11 to 12. I was a very social person. I jumped around from group to group, was able to make friends very easily, and got along well with a lot of people. And that kind of helped me decide why I wanted to go to business. Although I chose finance, I really like math, and I thought finance would be a good degree for me. And during my decision to go into business, my couple buddies from Haskell also told me that it involves a lot of social interaction. So I thought that it would be a good fit for me because I'm a very social person. And yeah, I'll pass it off to Sarina.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarina and I'm in my third year of a supply chain degree at the Haskell School of Business, and I am also minoring in data science. In high school, I was a very sociable person, but I was still very academically focused, so I kind of got the best of both worlds, you could say. I chose business school because I'm a people person. I enjoy talking to people, and I can do that with a business degree. I also specifically chose supply chain because I like contributing to the bigger picture, and that is very easy to do when you have a supply chain degree. And I really hope that this presentation is very informative for you and you learn a lot. And now I'm going to pass it on to Hozaifa.
Hi everyone, so I'm Hozaifa Cheema and I'm also a third year finance student like Ryan, but I'm doing an economics minor as well. So a little bit about myself, if you look at the first picture, you can see that we are supporting our Bulldogs from Churchill, and Sarina and I are in that picture. And other than that, I'm just a massive sports fan. And during my high school years, I had a lot of friends, but that's a lot of people in high school. And as for choosing business, I think the reason I chose business was that honestly, it just interested me, just everything about it, everything I'd heard, and the fact that I could get super rich. So keep watching and keep focusing to see how that'll be you. So a little bit more about what I'll be talking about is the different business school branches and the possible majors that you could choose from. So what does business school entail for you? And I'll be relating all of these five different majors that you could possibly choose from to Amazon, which is one of the largest company that is out there, and how all of these five majors and all of these these are requirements for companies that want to operate a business. So firstly, I'll be talking about accounting, and accounting is just basically simple that you keep track of finances. Amazon has billions and billions of dollars coming in and going out to payments. So there needs to be some sort of system where you keep track of all those payments and all that money coming in. So if you're in accounting, you're just focusing on the money coming in and the money going out. That's a simple way to put it, but that also involves you evaluate your assets, your holdings, whatever that the company owns. That's what that means. And another one I would say is there's a thing called the cash flow statement, which is at what points during the year is the money coming into your company and how is it being used. So that is what you do for accounting. And if you are a public company like Amazon is, like you can buy their stock, it is a legal requirement and there are standards that are set for how you keep track of money. So the general public can see your accounting, uh, your track of accounting, and they can make a judgment on how the money is being used and whether they want to invest in your company. So nextly is supply chain management and operations. So it is basically the purchasing of raw materials from suppliers and getting the logistics of getting new materials, the logistics of manufacturing those materials, what an assembly chain looks like, what the transportation chain looks like. So how do you get the material from your factory to the superstore that's beside your house, and how the superstore gets that to your home. So that is basically what a supply chain is for general produce products, I guess. And how that relates to Amazon is they are a completely online shopping website. So customers are buying online, and how does that get transported from their warehouse where the product is sitting? They have an insanely large warehouse, even in Calgary. So how does that get to a box? How does that one item that you ordered out of the millions on Amazon's website get to a box, and that box gets to your house? So that's basically how it relates to Amazon, this type of major. And nextly, we'll be talking about finance, and this is mostly just making decisions on making investments. That's the most important part. That's the one sentence way to put it. And you're using ratios and percentages to try to predict the future, and it is very math based and Excel based. So if you're so if you're good at math, that's probably the best major for you, I'd say. If you like doing complex math, you like working on computers, you like working on Excel, that's mostly why I chose it as well. I was really good at math, and I loved when I started doing Excel. It was wonderful, just beautiful. But how that relates to Amazon is that Amazon wants to open a new warehouse. They want to expand a new warehouse. They go to their finance people and they try to create a model where they say, oh, if you spend another $1 billion, then over the next certain amount of years, you'll get that money back and you'll be making a profit. So that's kind of how it relates to just normal companies on making investment decisions. But that's a very one-sided explanation of finance. There's also going into investment banking where you're a stockbroker and all of that stuff. There's a lot of things you can do with the finance degree. So that's a really open major that you can do. Nextly, there's marketing. That's pretty self-explanatory as to how you brand yourself. Do you want what type of company you want to be seen as? There's examples of Nike. What do you think of when you think of Nike, or what do you think of when you think of Ford? Or for another example is that what do you think of when you think of Tesla? So an example I used there is that remember when their Cybertruck was released and Elon Musk, the windows on the Cybertruck broke when he threw that metal ball. So some people say that was just a marketing tactic because it made headlines all over the world, and he didn't pay for any of that advertisement. So Elon Musk is probably one of the greatest marketers. Tesla does not even have a marketing division in their company. They just rely on they just rely on making the headlines to do their marketing. So there's a lot of different marketing strategies that are out there. And there's a common saying that all marketing is good marketing. All publicity is good publicity. So that's like the really common saying in marketing. And lastly, I'll talk about analytics. Analytics is interpreting high volume data on every little like minuscule thing. That's how you work in analytics, and you're trying to predict customer behavior by that. How that relates to Amazon is that you get the analytics. So creating analytics for Amazon is that if I was a customer and I was to click on a pencil, I want to buy a pencil. So analytics works on what other products should I see if I'm trying to buy a pencil that will also interest me. So Amazon will automatically know that they should show me an eraser. Maybe they should show me a notebook. Maybe they should show me a calculator. So that's what analytics works on. So, and those are, I believe, the 5 majors. And I'll be passing it on to Ryan now to talk about life as a business student.
All right, thanks, Hozaifa. And now I'll be proceeding to life as a business student. So the first topic I'll be touching on are classes. What I've noticed, and I'm sure all my friends have noticed too, is that most business classes are very interactive in the way that you participate a lot in class. You'll be speaking, you'll be asking questions, answering questions, having a lot of discussions amongst your classmates and group mates. You just got to be aware that you will have to speak. You are graded based on participation, just like high school. And just, yeah, be aware that you will be out there and talking to a lot of people. And the next point I'll be talking about are group work. From my experience, and also again with all my other business friends, 75% of our classes are mostly all group work, and that means group work as in group assignments, group projects, group presentations, case studies, case competitions, and all those things. So you just got to be comfortable speaking to other people, being social, being able to work well with people, because sometimes you will have bad group mates, bad teammates, and sometimes you'll have very good teammates. So it's all based on luck and just hoping that, you know, everyone just pulls their strings and pulls their part, and you succeed as a group and do well. The next one I want to talk about is networking. So what is networking? Networking is that easiest, simplest way to put it is like just meeting people, getting to know people, because through networking, I found that all the friends that I've met in business, all the teachers or TAs that I've talked to always connected me with another person. That was very advantageous for me, as that was just a whole chain of information for me, and maybe a chain of jobs that may be coming up. I know a couple buddies of mine who got out of school who didn't have the best grades, weren't the best students, but because of their good network connections and everyone they knew, they were able to land high corporate jobs, like very rare corporate jobs, just because of the people they knew. And yeah, I just want to focus on that. Business is not like science classes or arts classes or any engineering classes where it's all just based off of grades. Business is a lot about extracurriculars or networking and getting to know people and the people you know. So I put the third point as major key, as it is very important. And the last point I'll be talking about is LinkedIn. So for people who don't know LinkedIn, it's just like it's like a platform used for networking. You put your social profile up there with your description on your resume, and corporate jobs or other jobs may put like job listings that you may be able to find, and you can apply through there. And other jobs who may be searching for proper employees may look for you through your social profile. And that is just a good way to connect people and get people to know each other, and just another form of networking. And I'll pass off to Sarina to go over our last points.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. And now I will be talking about what your first year is going to look like, either as a business student or just generally as a first-year university student. So the thing you want to note about your first year classes are that all your first year courses are actually prerequisites for the following years. And we like to call your first year courses as foundational classes. And what we mean by that is that the things you learn in first year are very fundamental to your learning and for your future years. So for example, it's like in grade 10 mathematics, the concepts that you learn are going to translate into your grade 11 math. It's essentially the same thing, but it is very much more heavily correlated, and it is much more transferable. And again, so they're foundational, they do build on each other, and that is very important to note, because not only do you need to have a deep understanding of these first year classes, but you also need to achieve a minimum grade of a C- rather than just a pass in university to be able to, actually qualify for your second year courses. So this is what a typical first year schedule looks like. All three of us had a very busy schedule in our first year, and this schedule looks very jumbled and messy, but this schedule is meant to show you that life as a business student is very busy. There's a lot going on in a single day. You have classes, you have tutorials, and you also have your free time in between. So the thing to note here is that lectures are when you're actually like taught content, just when you would be sitting in the classroom and the professor would be talking. Whereas things such as a laboratory or a tutorial that you also see on the schedule are extra class time, where you either do extra problems with the TA or the teaching assistant, or you have time to work on group projects, or you have quizzes in that time. And as much as this class is busy, the good thing about university is that you have the opportunity to make your own schedule. So if, for example, a 9 a.m. class doesn't work for you, you have that freedom to start your classes in the afternoon. And it is very important to create a schedule that you're comfortable with, because again, it is very essential for you to attend all your classes and all your labs and lectures. So by creating that schedule that you feel comfortable with, you can hold yourself accountable. So the Haskell community, all of us would say that is very tightly knit. It is very friendly. It is a great place to find new friends and, to grow as a person, because just like you, there's going to be multiple other first year students who are new and they're also looking to find friends. And it's a good idea to find new friends or join new clubs, as you want to be friends with like-minded people. You can go join clubs that you're interested in. And not only is that going to help you have a support system in university, which is really important, but you're also going to be able to fulfill that networking piece that Ryan talked about earlier. So it's a great way to expand your network and, just try new things, because there's so many different clubs, not only at Haskayne, but in the entire university, that may be surrounded around topics that you're interested in, but you just never had the chance to try it at high school. So it's a great place to get involved early and really start exploring right away. So as most of you know, we all three of us have been attending online or Zoom university since March 2020, and there's been pretty major changes. And we do hope that university will go back in person by the time you guys start your first year. But we do feel that a lot of the changes that have been implemented due to the online nature will also follow into in-person classes and would translate into it. So it's very important to be aware of those. So a couple of key things is that usually first year courses, or a lot of university courses actually, are very midterm and exam focused. So you have a couple exams that make up your entire grade. Whereas now, due to the online nature, classes are way more assignment heavy. So they're more assignment focused rather than exam focused. So it's a way for professors to keep us more engaged. And so by having more of those assignments, you have a lot more deliverables, which means you're going to be held accountable for a lot more, and you're going to need to stay on top of it. The teaching has also been an increase in engagement, just like Ryan talked about how as a business student, you'll be having a lot of that interactive piece, that group work piece. This online nature has even asked for and created an opportunity for more engagement. And I do believe, and I guess we all believe, that that will also translate back into the online, into the real in-person classes environment. But it's just important to be aware of these changes, as it might happen and it might not. But a lot of things have changed, some for the best and some for the worst. So we'll see how it goes in person when university opens up again. And lastly, again, we want to really, really stress that your first year is really important. As much as you'll be part of this new environment where you're making new friends, you're part on this campus with lots of opportunities and lots of new things to see and try, and it is so different than high school. It is still important to stay on top of your academics, and that's going to be a little hard as you're getting adjusted to this new place that you're learning. But like we've said, your first year classes are very foundational and very important to your understanding for your future, and they're prerequisites for your following years. And if you don't really apply yourself in your first year, and you just think first year is a joke, if you don't really apply yourself, all you're necessarily doing is you're just hurting yourself and your grades and your future progress in your coming years. So we really do stress, and we really do recommend that you guys take that extra time in your first year to not only account for the adjustment that you'll need, but to also really hammer in the things that you learn in your first year courses. And thank you so much for listening and staying through our presentation. We hope that this presentation has been informative to you regarding business school or university in general. And we hope that we were able to answer some of your questions. And if we weren't, we will be happy to answer all those questions in our live Zoom session. Thank you so much.